So this is a Bailey Pageant Bretange. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got the jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker, you've got your gas regulator on the bulkhead with your gas connection at the top here, and that will run to the gas bottle. We do have the gas hoses available should you need them. You have 2 gas bottle tie downs in the front locker where you can carry a maximum of 2 6-kilogram propane gas bottles. On either side of the van at the front, you've got your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan. They are just there for stabilising, they're not there for lifting the van. So you put them down so they touch the ground, so it stabilises the van, but you'd never lift the van as it could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. Next up we have the water pump connection. So the water pump itself pushes into the side of the van, as you can see here. Just pushes in and you use this cover here to lock it down into place. The cover on the right hand side here is for your heating and hot water flue. You need to make sure you remove this when you use the caravan on gas. Very simple to remove. Just pop it on. It's on tight. Just put your finger in the thumb in the centre here, push in, and then pull back with your fingers at the bottom. The pickup pipe itself drops down inside the acque roll, and you need to make sure this is full before you start operating the caravan internally. The wheel nuts and motor mover will demonstrate the motor mover to you while you're here on site, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts so they're tightened to the correct manufacturer setting, and this will be done in front of you so you know they have been done. Coming towards the back of the caravan, you have your toilet flush tank, so you'll open this up and you'll put 3.5 litres of fresh water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. In the bottom, you have your toilet waste cassette, which to release, you've got a yellow handle at the bottom. You pull that yellow handle up and pull the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out 90 degrees so you can tip the waste away. The yellow cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. And on the back of the cassette, you have a yellow pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. At the back of the caravan, you have the storage locker, where you can access the storage at the rear of the van. On the rear of the caravan on either side, you have your wind down legs again to stabilise the van while it's on site. Again, you just have these down so they touch the ground, but you'd never lift the caravan with these legs. Coming down the door side of the caravan, you have your battery box. So you'd open this up, you've got your mains power lead going in the side here. Behind it, you'll also have your motor mover power switch, and your leisure battery would also be inside this box. Next to it, you have a 3-pin socket on the outside of the van, so you can have power out to your awning should you wish to. Your wheels and motor mover again. Your 2 fridge vents. The 2 fridge vents are very simply there to allow hot air out the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. And on the top right hand side, you've got a gas flue for when you're running the fridge on gas. Down the front of the caravan, you've got your wind down leg to stabilise the caravan while it is on site. We'll go on to the inside of the caravan next and demonstrate how the inside works. Inside the door, as you come into the caravan, you've got your master power switch here on the control panel. So you'd need this on to allow power to come on inside the caravan. On the left hand side, you've got your water pump switch, which we'll come to in a moment. You've then got your internal lights and your awning light for the outside of the caravan. At the top here, you've got your voltmeter for the battery on board the caravan. So the water pump, first thing you're going to need to do is fill the water system up. So you're going to come down underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan. And underneath this seat you'll find a yellow valve. That yellow valve needs to be parallel with the floor prior to filling the water system up. If that valve is upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, all the water on the inside of the caravan will drain out onto the floor underneath the van. So always make sure that is parallel with the floor and in the position it's in at the moment. Once you've got that valve in the position parallel with the floor, come over to every tap on board the caravan and open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system. So you'll open it up on the hot side as you can see here, but that is every tap on board the caravan. As you can see, I've already bled the water system. However, normally when you first turn on the water system, there'll just be air coming out of the pipework. So what you do is, once you've got them taps open, you'll come over to the control panel by the door and you'll press the water pump button. As you can see, the light is green at the moment as it's refilling the hot water tank from the acque roll on the outside. Once you have water running out of every tap on board the caravan continuously, you can shut all of the taps back off, and at that point we also advise you refill the acque roll on the outside of the caravan back up to the 40 litres. Because then you'll have a complete tank of water and a complete system, full system on board the caravan. Once you have bled the water system or filled the water system, you can then start thinking about warming the water on board the caravan. Now underneath the seat, just down here, at the front of the caravan, you have your electric water heater. So you turn this on to warm the water on electric. It is a preset temperature on electric and it will not boost on the electric water heating. So what we advise you do is, so the preset temperature here is around 35 to 40 degrees. I'm just going to turn that off for now. Actually, I'll leave it on for now so it warms up when you get here. On the top here, you can use the gas to boost the water system, or when you're off grid, for instance. So you can spin the dial here, around to the flame symbol. Obviously, there's no gas bottle on at the moment, so it will fail to ignite in a moment. But the green light is essentially your pilot light. If it stays green, then it means it has ignited. Now, as you can see, there's a little red light just appeared here. That means the water system has failed to ignite on gas. If it does ignite on gas and the green light stays lit, you can put any one of these numbers around this dial between 30 and 70 degrees of water temperature over the green light, and that is the water temperature it will warm up to. Now, like I said, if you're showering on board the van or off-grid, you will need to use this as a boost, and we do advise you set it to the highest setting to start with so it gets warm quickly. Then you can adjust the temperature as you need it for the shower. To turn off the gas supply, you'll simply turn the dial back to the off position here on the right hand side, and that'll be the gas isolated. The controls on the right hand side that you see here, it says room heater, as you can see, and this is the control for the electric heating above. So you need to have this switch on. If that's off, as you can see, the light will go off. In the centre here, you have heating off on the little circle. You then have 500, 1,000 or 2,000 watts, depending on what caravan site you're on. Like I said, it will depend on what site you're on, just due to the amount of power that they have available on that site. And we do advise you ask the site office when you arrive on your holiday to find out what is the best option to run it on. You can also run it on gas as a boost, should you need to. You control the temperature of the heater on this dial in the centre, and it isn't actually a temperature setting as such, it's the amount of elements inside the heater it will warm up. So you've got between 1 and 9 to control the heat settings. If you want to run the heater on gas, you actually need to come down to the heater itself. And on top of the heater, you will see it has a control on the right hand side. You can spin this dial here on top of the heater, around between 10 and 9. Hold down the gas valve, and with the gas bottle connected, it will self-ignite. Once it ignites, you'll have a pilot light in this window at the front of the heater. Well, and again, once it has ignited, we do advise that you hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds while the thermocouple warms up. Then you'll slowly release the valve and you'll be able to control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top. That is on the gas option. Turn off the gas supply, you turn it back around to the 0 here, and that will isolate the gas supplied to the heater. On the left-hand side of the heater at the top, you've actually got your blown air controls. So you've got your dial here between 1 and 5. Which is the fan speed when the heater is operating. The dot in the centre here indicates the heat is going to come out the front of the heater, which is what I've got it on at the moment. You can use blown air as an option, which is continuous blown air on the left hand side, which essentially means the heat will come out the vents around the caravan, as them two there at the front you can see. Two little white vents on the bottom left hand side, left and right hand side of the seating area. And you can also have it on automatic blown air. The automatic blown air will essentially allow the thermostat to cut in and out the fans on board the van, so it's a bit like if you've got climate control in your car. Back in the centre again, and the heater will run straight from the front of the heater. The fridge is very simple to use. So you've got 3 different options for running your fridge on. You've got your 240 mode, you've got off at the top here. 240, so that'll essentially work on the electric supply that's connected to the caravan, and you'll be able to control the temperature on the right hand side here. This is the lowest setting, and that is the coldest setting. So that's the warmest setting and the coldest setting. That also works when you're on gas, this control. However, it doesn't control any temperature when you're on the 12 volt mode. The 12 volt mode is essentially for when you're towing down the road, and it essentially turns the fridge into a cool box via the 12 volt system from the car. So it will not work off the 12 volt battery on board the caravan. To operate the fridge on gas, you'll spin this dial to the bottom and you'll hit the igniter on the right hand side. You also need to press in the temperature control valve here and hit the igniter at the same time. Once it has ignited on gas, this little red line that you see here will come around into the green, and that essentially means the fridge has ignited on gas. If that red line drops back down into the white, then it means it has failed to ignite. Very similar to the heater, we do advise you hold this in for a further 5 to 10 seconds once it has ignited. The last thing we go through on this particular caravan is the toilet system in the bathroom. In the bathroom, the toilet has a pump flush on top of the toilet, so it allows you to pump the toilet to flush it. The toilet seat itself turns for your convenience. However, when you're trying to remove the toilet waste cassette from underneath the caravan, it needs to be pointing straight towards the door of the main door of the caravan, so straight in that position. The grey flap you see below the toilet is the toilet waste flap, so you need to push that forward to allow the waste into the cassette underneath the caravan. We'll also need to make sure that grey flap is shut again once the toilet has been flushed. So this is the Bailey Pageant Bretange. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'd be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site later today. Thank you for now. Bye-bye.